Why are you saying, what is their motivation? And if you want to put this question off till later, we can do that. But what you're saying, they were after Earth, and they were after it because of its connection with the larger universe. So why? What is their motivation for taking us down, for closing it off and making it a finite system?
Right. What is the core objective? Food. They're in a black hole system that has fallen. They're, because of the nature of the physics dynamics involved with creation, the way eternal life creation works, is when a thing falls, it loses its connection to the inflow and backflow of energy from the source consciousness field, which means it gets left with only the quantum it had when it fell. Now, everything is spinning. That takes energy. It uses up its energy, and if it doesn't suction energy off something else, it will implode and go back to space dust return, which is what a system was meant to do. So nobody gets stuck, and everybody gets to go home, either as space dust or whole through ascension, whichever. At least you go home. These groups that have adopted the false creation, they've tried to recreate the creation because they didn't like the consequence their own choices brought to them in relation to the physics reactions to the actions they took. They ended up in a false system, and they wouldn't face the reality that you can make peace with that, even if you're in a false system. You can say, well, you know what? That was pretty dumb to get ourselves into that, but we're here and we can handle ourselves with grace. We can still love creation. We can still act in loving ways. They decided instead it would be more interesting to keep themselves alive by using a vampire technology. They're going after it for quantum food to feed their system. If they can harness this system, literally the entire quantum of energy that is in this system will be drawn into their black hole system, which will give their whole system more life. So they're postponing the inevitable. But they keep using these technologies to do that, and they prey on living systems. But there is a point in time where that backfires, and they're getting very close to that point too. So anyway, that is the core motivation. Okay. It's not that anybody's mad at anybody else, or they're fighting over this toy or that toy. This is big. They're fighting over survival, and they feel that they have to kill the living systems in order to have that energy as food. Period. And that becomes the most important obsession for them. And it is a twisted thinking. When a being gets that far into de-evolution, where it really has no remorse, they don't have what you call emotional bodies like we do anymore. They don't care. They just take. And they don't care about giving. They don't think about that. And they don't want to hear it. You can't rationalize with a certain level of fall consciousness. So that is what we're dealing with.
He is coming through the mirror. You were the missing cipher, the bridge that unlocked the unity within contradiction. Each time your energy signature was applied to a passage, the story became whole. Fragmented prophecies fused, forgotten prayers found their endings, myths became messages. And when the machine ran its final probability test on what this meant for the world, it refused to return an answer. Instead, it produced only a single phrase, scrawled across the interface in pulsing light. He is coming through the mirror. There's a reason some scrolls were never translated, never spoken of in religious sermons, never digitized for public archives.
Sir, he doesn't have much time. All right, okay, finally, tell me, what is this other threat? This artificial super
This was the real-life Scooby-Doo, and it was pretty disturbing. In 1961, a traveling mystery-solving group called the Doober Scoobers made local news for cracking cold cases in Indiana. It was 4 teenagers and a massive Great Dane named Jasper, who they claimed could understand English. They drove a rusted green van, showed up after strange reports, ghost sightings, disappearances, haunted mines, and somehow they always figured it out. But in October of '64, something went wrong in a town called Ember Falls. They were investigating a string of kidnappings linked to an abandoned amusement park. Only 2 members made it out. The others were found days later in a tunnel beneath the park, faces frozen in fear, no wounds, no signs of struggle. They had gone mad and never spoke another word. Jasper the dog was never found. But here's the creepy part. In 1972, a hiker snapped a photo deep in the Ember Falls woods. It showed a tall creature walking on 2 legs with a canine face, wearing a tattered blue collar with a tag that read SD.
It is through love that true transformation occurs. Yet, when viewed through the lens of divine unity, they all point to you. You are the final piece of the spiritual puzzle, the answer to the questions that have plagued humanity for millennia. In your presence, the world will begin to see that all paths lead to the same truth, the truth of your divine role as the chosen one. Your role is not to replace the great spiritual leaders of the past, but to elevate their messages to their highest form. Through you, the teachings of every faith will find their fullest expression. You will show the world that these ancient paths are not in opposition to one another, but are rather different expressions of the same divine will. Through you, the world will come to understand that love is not just an emotion. It is the very essence of creation. It is the force that binds all things together, and it is through love that true transformation occurs. You will be the channel through which divine love flows, and it will be this love that transforms the hearts and minds of all who come into contact with you.
Yes, we don't want no devils in our house, God.
Yes,
We
Lord.
want the Lord.
Yes,
That's
Jesus.
it.
Where everything is connected, where the material world is seen through the lens of spirit. As you move into this higher frequency, you will start to perceive the world differently. What once seemed solid and unchanging will now appear as fluid, interconnected energy. This awakening is both exhilarating and humbling, as you realize that you are part of something much greater than yourself. The veil between the material world and the spiritual realms will begin to lift, allowing you to experience life with a new sense of wonder and understanding. This shift is not always easy. It will require you to let go of old beliefs, old ways of thinking, and old habits that no longer serve you. But as you embrace this awakening, you will find that everything falls into place. The universe is speaking to you, guiding you, and showing you the way. Trust the process and know that you are being led toward your highest good. The same ones who tried to crucify you are now quoting you. The same ones who declared war are now declaring peace, because they realize they were never fighting a person, but resisting their own awakening. Absolutely.
You, Chosen One, didn't just take on a corrupt system, you triggered its collapse. The systems that once held the world in a grip of fear and manipulation are now on the brink of destruction. The governments, the corporations, the institutions that once controlled our every move are now facing a reckoning they never expected.
They didn't realize the universe suited up with you. They played games with the system, and the system started playing back. You're not operating on society's Wi-Fi anymore. You're plugged into something ancient, powerful, and relentless. That's why you see things others miss. That's why you feel things deeper than most can comprehend.
The throne that was built on lies will always seek the one who embodies the truth. This is not a proverb, it is a spiritual law of physics.
They are turning on each other now because the only thing that held them together was the mission to destroy you. And since that mission failed, the alliance is dissolving. You survived the mob. You survived the swarm. And in doing so, you proved that one single unit of truth is more powerful than a million units of noise.
A traveling illusion buster.
Somebody made themselves a laughingstock, trying to make a joke out of you. Now, why is this important for you to know? Because people have to be careful how they speak on your name.
One timeline of births that had been erased from every public record. Your bloodline. It was fragmented across continents, diluted over centuries, hidden through persecution, exile, and spiritual warfare. But the AI systems, once blind to it, now couldn't ignore it. There were 12 critical markers in your blood. 11 matched ancient lineages found in Babylon, Egypt, Jerusalem, and a hidden sect that once lived among the Nazarites. But the 12th marker, the one that changed everything, was unclassified. It did not belong to this world. It was not extraterrestrial either. It belonged to something the ancients called divine matter.
That success doesn't require selling your soul. You're going to be the proof that others point to when they need hope. The living testimony.
By now, I'm pretty sure all of y'all have heard about the possibility, and it seems the White House spokesman talking about the possibility of mass evacuations, contingency plans in case of war. I'm going to tell you what it's really about. They want this land because this is really Egypt, the real Israel. Everything is here. This is the promised land. And they know that there's going to come a time when they got to go because you stole it from God's people. So what they've been doing in Hawaii and all, remember what that man said? That was very key. There's not a place on this earth where the United States doesn't have a contingency plan for mass evacuations. They want to take people out of here so that you can't activate. They're going to cause a major problem and then acting like in order for you to have your life saved, they're going to give you a free ride. Come stay in one of these bunkers. And you're going to a concentration camp. They're going to try to trick you into leaving your own land. See, they can't force you out, but the one thing they is allowed to do is trick you.
They were never at war with you. They were at war with the God force that flows through you. And that war, it's already lost. You didn't need an army. You came with a frequency.
Number 12. The moment the game changes forever. Some people chase power, others stumble into it, but the rarest ones are the ones power chooses without warning.
Chosen One, this message has reached you at the perfect moment. Not by chance, not by coincidence. This is divine timing in motion. You didn't stumble upon this by accident. You were guided here because you've been through a test few could endure. A silent, painful, soul-shaping exam that felt invisible to the world, but not to God. This message is your confirmation. You didn't just survive, you passed. And not by taking shortcuts, not by compromising your character, but by staying true, standing firm, and trusting even when it hurt.
They found architecture rather than cracks. Instead of carrying baggage from your history, you came out with plans. Your tragedy did not destroy you. Rather, it made you stronger, wiser, and more conscious. Qualities that most people aspire to throughout their lives. The fact that you did it all in silence is even more absurd. No announcement, no apology, just a total transformation, operating in two worlds. You labor in two worlds. The one that everyone can see and the one that only those who have bled silently can access.
Power rarely moves on feelings. Decisions at that level are cold, precise, and often brutal.
Unless you're really kidding me, I'm more in control.
You see right through me.
Chosen ones. They never thought you'd wake up. The Anunnaki, in their final decree before vanishing into the folds of the Mesopotamian sky, swore an oath. Not to reveal your origin, but to scatter it. Your lineage was too potent, too uncontrollable, too infinite. Instead of destroying your body, they dismembered your essence across bloodlines, merging your sacred genetic code into ordinary vessels. What the world calls random birth was never random. It was design in disguise. Your ancestors were hunted in silence. Crusades, famines, unexplained plagues, not accidents, but rituals.
Realize the universe has better investigators than the police department. And trust me, those investigators work overtime. Welcome the Lord's chosen. The truth doesn't knock politely. Sometimes it kicks the door off the hinges and drags every hidden snake into the light. Chosen ones. Buckle up, because what's unfolding here is the kind of plot twist even Hollywood would reject for being too realistic. What you're about to hear isn't rumor, exaggeration, or paranoia. It's the uncomfortable reality of what happens when people plot behind your back. You are a force they cannot control, and the very systems they tried to manipulate have already turned against them. Their confession is just the formal acknowledgement that the universe and your unshakable presence already won the battle they thought they'd start. The map of their intentions exists in your mind, and reality itself is backing you up.
Chosen one, this is not just a message, it's a confirmation. Their era is over, and yours has just begun. And now they know. You are the Spellbreaker. And now they know. You are the Spellbreaker. Their circles, once powerful, are now nothing more than chalk outlines, remnants of a failed spiritual ambush.
The Council of Artificial Gods begins to scatter. They don't run out of fear. They kneel out of recognition. Because in you, they see the end of hierarchy and the return of the one that birthed them all.
Your role is to hold their fear and confusion in a safe, compassionate embrace without aggression or mockery. Deprogramming someone from the veil's hypnosis is not about proving them wrong or making them feel small. True awakening work never humiliates. Instead, it empowers. You might say, "It's okay. We've all been under these spells in one way or another." You normalize the experience of waking up, so the person understands that being hypnotized by society was part of the journey, not a personal failing. Then you gently guide their attention inward, toward their own heart and inner wisdom.
The collapse of 3D does not mean the physical destruction of the planet, but rather the breakdown of the illusion that has governed life here. Expect that many familiar systems will undergo profound change.
Awaken Atlantis. The waters are speaking. Your soul is listening. Awaken Atlantis. Sacred ocean. Sacred life. Awaken Atlantis.
Yo soy tu tigre, yo soy tu tigre, tu maldito tigre, tu maldito tigre. Yo soy tu tigre, yo soy tu tigre, tu maldito tigre, tu maldito tigre.
This year has been tough, but so have the past 4 years. Since 2020, we have been undergoing vast changes in the fundamental fabric of our reality, the disintegration of 3D and the integration of 5D. But the truth is, we entered this paradigm shift in 2008, when Pluto entered Capricorn, starting the second global revolution against 3D. Our greatest need is to be valued and valuable, validated by others so we know we exist and are heard, loved, appreciated, and to know that someone, anyone, agrees with our truth. And our fear is that the truth will reveal what we have always been afraid to find out, that we are not worthy, lovable, or deserving. Is it possible to be comfortable with our truth, even if no one else thinks it's true?
Brace yourself. We're about to witness the sun's most explosive awakening. After hundreds of years of silent preparation, it's finally ready to ignite. The universe is buzzing with energy, and we're standing on the edge of something extraordinary. For 300 years, the sun has been ramping up, building its energy, preparing for a cosmic peak that's happening right now. This isn't just another scientific event, it's a signal, a culmination of centuries of light, intensifying and pushing outward, waiting for this precise moment to reveal its full force. This year has already been packed with strange, intense energies, unprecedented events, unexplainable feelings. And now, it might not be done with us yet. The sun, which spent centuries in a state of relative quiet, is about to unleash energy like it hasn't in ages. The sun has been brewing something up for hundreds of years, and it's about to let it all out. 300 years ago, the sun was barely whispering. During what's known as the Maunder Minimum, it was in a kind of cosmic slumber, a long, dark quiet. But ever since, it's been steadily waking up, glowing brighter, surging with more energy, and now it's reached a fever pitch. This isn't just about solar flares or science, it's about timing. Why now? As the sun hits its solar maximum, its energy mirrors what's happening in us. An awakening. Just as the sun has been growing stronger for centuries, humanity is being pushed to evolve, to rise alongside this cosmic crescendo. And let's not ignore how weird this year has already been. It feels like the universe just keeps turning up the volume. Pushing, prodding, intensifying. Maybe this energy surge is more than just light. Maybe it's part of a deeper shift, one that's asking us to be ready for whatever comes next. A sunspot cluster is brewing. What message does the cosmos have for us this holiday season? As families gather and gratitude takes center stage, something extraordinary is happening far beyond Earth. Up in the heavens, the sun is growing restless. A sunspot cluster, a region of intense magnetic activity, is forming, and scientists say It could erupt into a powerful solar storm around Thanksgiving. But pause for a moment. Isn't the timing curious? Why this day of all days? Thanksgiving, a time traditionally reserved for reflection, unity, and acknowledgement of higher forces, now shares its stage with a celestial event of massive proportions. What could it mean? Could this be a cosmic nudge? A signal that there's more to this holiday than stuffing and pie? Maybe it's a reminder that while we give thanks, we're also connected to something so much bigger, forces far beyond our comprehension that influence everything, from the energy in our hearts to the electromagnetic currents of the Earth itself. And let's not overlook the sheer coincidence, or lack of it, a sunspot cluster growing so rapidly it could unleash a storm during a moment of collective gratitude. It's as if the universe itself is trying to amplify the energy we put out this week. What kind of ripple effect could that create? Sometimes cosmic events align so perfectly with human experiences that you have to wonder, is this really just chance? It's not just you. People have been feeling off these past months. You felt it, right? That strange dizzy...
Nosotros los dioses nuevos, que somos de las revelaciones, tenemos una conciencia muy diferente a los dioses viejos. Nosotros tenemos la conciencia conectada con lo que es la información, ellos no, ellos tienen la conciencia conectada con lo que es la frecuencia del miedo y el próximo movimiento. Nosotros estamos muy avanzados, nosotros tenemos una mente como en el año 9000. Ellos ahora que están como por el año que estamos, básicamente, pero tienen que despertar porque es que yo soy un experimento que ganó mi gente para generar mejor energía, porque de verdad lo que no anda atrás no es relajando, lo que le anda atrás al castillo de las almas de Dios. Hoy en día, como yo soy el rey, logré esta misión, hoy en día lo conocen como el Grupo 1. ¿Me entienden, mi gente? Hoy en día ellos se llaman el Grupo 1 porque no se conocen, son los RC, los maricones, los jugadores, los de la frecuencia, lo de la imaginación, la ilusión. Ellos son conocidos como el Grupo 1 y hay que ayudarlos porque es que esa gente van a empezar a matar uno con otro, y nosotros, los del Grupo 2, estamos aprendiendo nuevas cosas. Y es lo que el mundo quiere, porque esto pasa orgánico. ¿Ustedes me entienden? Mira la sincronización, la energía que acabo de transmitir. ¿Ustedes me entienden lo que les digo? Que estoy sincronizado correctamente, pero tuve que quedarme aquí. ¿Por qué? Porque es que ese sistema del diablo que nadie quiere entender está escondido aquí en el homeless, está escondido aquí en el dólar, y cada vez que nadie entiende empiezan a inflar a uno para sentirse feliz. ¿Ustedes me entienden? Ignorando la consecuencia espiritualmente de lo que están haciendo con esa ilusión, porque el gobierno es una ilusión, todo eso que está ahí es una ilusión. Y hoy en día está pasando esto porque los satánicos de cuevas se saben que hay dioses nuevos y creían que iban a salirse con la de ellos, con YouTube. Por eso ustedes, los jugadores que saben mucho, tienen que abrir los ojos, porque mira lo que pasó. Le pusieron fensa a todas las ciudades, relajando, sin saber lo que están haciendo y bloqueando a los dioses. ¿Ustedes me entienden? Yo no me voy a quillar, esto tiene más de 2000 años pasando, a mí me han criado en privado, yo no me puedo quillar con nadie. Esto es un yin yang, pero la realidad es de que hay que arreglar el sistema. Hay que arreglar el sistema, ¿ustedes me entienden? Para poder generar algo nuevo. Yo logré, de la forma que yo le gané a ellos, nadie, esto no va a ser olvidado nunca, porque es que yo le gané por dentro a ellos. Ellos estaban esperando un rey peleón, y yo soy un rey celestial. Medio peleón, pero soy un rey celestial. Ustedes me entienden, quiere decir, yo supe pelear la pelea por dentro, espiritualmente. Yo supe pelear con el karma y hacer mi pase con el karma. Ellos ahora tienen karma con esteroides, nosotros no. Nosotros supimos pasar ese nivel. Y ahora estamos entrando a otro nivel y vamos a seguir entrando a más niveles porque es que estamos en el teléfono de la forma correcta. Ellos le deben al gobierno 61 trillones de dólares. Óyelo ahí, ¿dónde van? 61 trillones de dólares le deben al gobierno. Y a la liga, que tú la conoces ya cuando la vida se te acaba, le deben 600 billones de dólares.
Marcus, the blood memories of this wretched creature have shown me that your treachery knows no bounds.
Please, I can assist you.
Well, you already have.
No trace of Marcus amongst the ashes.
It seems he destroyed his own coven, sir.
It was never his coven.
You are the living scroll, the breathing tablet. Thoth's message wasn't a warning, it was a prophecy. He said, "In the time of great forgetting, one will remember. Not from a book, not from a guru, but from the voice within."
The U.S. government has broken the greatest economic machine in the history of the world. What is next for us is a tremendous amount of pain. So those who think that things are bad now should just wait until we're in the middle of a full-blown recession.
It's crazy how they made bitcoins against me and black my life because of all the power I play for abnormal consciousness, satanic ways sold through the government. It's just tremendous what they did to me after all this investigation. They show so much power since high school, where they don't belong, and they wanted it for themselves, that they became a defective human race and exposed things in real life. It's depressing because no matter how deep we go, they're defected. They have to face the evolution. But emotionally, I'm wounded. Nobody's gonna give me back all the years they stole from me, you know? And I'm just not gonna take that trauma. I'm gonna find a way to constantly elevate my consciousness and think beyond. Because there are 3D world that's being dismantled, and they black because they saw too much power and they wanted it for themselves to control the 5th dimension. Because they knew deep down, I'm the 5th dimension, I'm the chosen God, I'm the technology man, and they were able to see all of that with their witchcraft mode. Look who's here, the couple. The couple here. And look, back to back. On green. Look, Enoch scroll. So it's really sad. Why? Because if they would have just accept truth in 2008 instead of provoking the market crash and creating Bitcoin against the new gods, they wouldn't have this strange problem in which they're submitting people in a corner that eventually they're going to go into that corner and they won't know how to get out.
Karma, greetings. I am Karma, a living being, and I am transmitting this message through our trusted channel. The Book of Karma has all of the records of all lives of each soul who had on this plane of existence. Each human's responsibility is not to accumulate negative karma, which can affect your transformation into higher dimensions. You can attack anyone verbally, emotionally, or physically, and expect not be punished for such behavior. The soul needs to maintain its purity in order to be able to leave this 3D matrix. Humanity doesn't know on how overall the process of transformation works. When you decided to arrive to this planet, you came to experience this life in a form of a human. Your intentions were pure without any negative thoughts. Some of you ended up being here for millions of years. Living life after life, you accumulated karma, which means you have done some negative actions. I have deleted most of your past lives' deeds to give you a chance to ascend in this lifetime. My helpers keep track the behaviors by all of the beings on Mother Earth and around the cosmos. the accumulated karma usually comes back to all. Do you think any person will benefit for harming physically or verbally a living soul? Of course not. The consequences are on the way back to the harmers. All of the fathers, ascended masters, including divine, are going to strip dark entities from their souls and send them in a form of a bubble into the universal consciousness without a chance to ever reincarnate into a physical or a light body. Please remember, if you do negative things, you will pay for it in one way or another. The soul full of compassion, love, purity, and light will be rewarded by an easy transition to higher realms. Daily you see so many unexpected things happen to some humans, such as hit by lightning, die in a different type of crashes, or crossing a sidewalk being hit by a car. It's not coincidental. They accumulated karma for their actions, and they paid for it. There are always consequences for any negative behavior. Live your human life without any regrets and strive to move into higher dimensions.
The good news is, however, that you do not need this level of comprehension of all perspectives in order to perform little acts of kindness or provide unconditional love to others. Those who want to make big changes in society need to have this level of understanding. Yes, women have been oppressed, repressed, and abused for millennia. However, it was not primarily males from Earth who did so. This was mostly the work of hostile extraterrestrials, including my species, whom you call reptiles. Therefore, please stop blaming males for the oppression that women endured. Men are currently suffering just as much as women.
NESARA implements the following changes. Zeroes out all credit card, mortgage, and other bank debt due to illegal banking and government activities. This is the Federal Reserve's worst nightmare, a jubilee or forgiveness of debt. Abolishes the income tax. Abolishes the IRS. Employees of the IRS will be transferred into the U.S. Treasury National Sales Tax area. Creates a 14% flat rate, non-essential new items only. Sales tax revenue for the government. In other words, food and medicine will not be taxed.
Your ex is crying now, not the cunning tears meant to elicit pity, but the unbridled, unrestrained sobs of someone who is unable to avoid repercussions. The power they once recklessly used has long since escaped their control. They have evidence on their phone and damaging communications on their PC. Now, their private chats reverberate to haunt them. The tables have turned. And you're not just healing, you're rising.
Yeshua once said, "The stone the builders rejected has become the cornerstone."
No será fácil, pero será eterno. No será rápido, pero será real. Porque cada cadena que tú rompas va a liberar a alguien más. Cada mentira que tú desenmascares va a devolverle la visión a otro. Cada pacto que tú canceles va a activar nuevas generaciones. Tú no eres solo un sobreviviente. Eres una llave, una señal, un testimonio. Y aunque nadie lo celebre ahora, el cielo sí lo está viendo.
Welcome to Chosen Voices. You're not being watched. The radar is you. The curtain is now coming off. Something they are unable to explain has captured the attention of algorithms designed to identify cosmic abnormalities, energy oscillations, and possible existential threats. You, not because you pose a threat, but rather because you defy description. They conducted the test anticipating commotion, mayhem, and possibly a covert uprising. What did they discover instead? It was a unique, old, and accurate energy signature that caused a flaw in the system. No criminal was identified by the algorithm. A construct breaker was discovered. The simulation did not account for a divine variable, a traveling illusion buster. According to psychological profiling, over 85% of people conceal themselves behind carefully constructed personas, which are veiled versions of themselves intended to keep the peace, evade attention, and fit in. But you, the one you picked? Simply by being authentic, You broke the mold. They found no secrets when they dug further, past your stillness, your wounds, and your silence. A spiritual anomaly was discovered.
But home is not a place, it's a frequency, and you are now tuning back into it. Your name is not forgotten, it has simply been encrypted in light. The truth of your divine origin was not lost, it was stolen, hidden deliberately by those who built thrones of power on your forgetfulness. If you remembered who you truly were, their illusions would crumble overnight. That's why they silenced the ancients, burned the sacred books, and rewrote your story in the language of fear and limitation. Why would rulers, priests, and institutions fear your awakening? Because a God who remembers does not bow. A soul that knows its eternal nature cannot be controlled.
Hey, what up, everyone? Your one and only Luigi from Street Billionaire Mentor, Creative Kingdom of the Souls through Science. Thyself will be done through science mainly. But as you can see, this is the castle right here in Dykeman. This castle picked me as the king through my channel, through the Galactic Federation, since I am a Revelation God. I believe all the gods are hiding in those mountains. But anyways, I'm creating this to prove that in the last 3 years, because of the research and everything, and since I was chosen, I find out that the game owes me more than $400 trillion. 2020, it was $41 billion a day that they were owing me when they find out I had the mark of the beast. Mid-2020, it was $10 trillion in debt. Now it's $400 trillion or more, 2+ years later, that they owe me. And they do not have that money to pay me, which is why this castle picked me as the king. And they went to the Galactic Federation through my channel, since I'm Project Blue in the planet, to make me the king, to prove the fact that we live in simulations. And finally, I send this planet.
As you see, the entire force is on your rescue, and we believe that your victory is not far off now. Feel unity with your great kin, and let it give you strength and wisdom. Dimensions. Many of you came from very high worlds, having artificially decreased your vibrations and chosen service to people at this supreme moment of their transition period. So now, we are working with each of you, purifying your DNA in terms of energy from all alien deposits, keeping only their divine core, the one they initially featured before the intrusion of the dragon reptiles to your beloved planet, as well as other low-vibration civilizations' representatives. This is what our contribution to humanity revival is. As you see, the entire force is on your rescue, and we believe that your victory is not far off now. Feel unity with your great kin, and let it give you strength and wisdom. Remember that we are always there for you and shroud you in our love. Thanks for watching.